Добрый день, коллеги, добрый день.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues, friends. Let's begin this session. The topic we are discussing today is environmental education, work with engaging population, and mobilization of financial resources for conserving tiger population. We would like to begin with the director and founder of the Global World Initiative. And let's first listen to Keshav Varma, who's going to speak about challenges and dangers. What shall we do with poaching, and what about financing of all these efforts? The floor is given to our online participant, Mr. Keshav Varma. Are we connected? Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Your Excellency, Mr. Turchenko, Honorable Minister of Justice, the other excellencies on the dais. I would like to present compliments from the Global Tiger Initiative and from the President of the initiative, Mr. Zelik. Today's event at Vladivostok takes me back to the grand event at St. Petersburg in 2010, which I was organized, from the side of the World Bank at that time. It was a historic occasion, and it was hosted jointly by the World Bank President and Mr. Putin. And it gave a profile, a very high profile to tigers in the wild across the world. The St. Petersburg Declaration actually had downstream impacts in terms of tougher laws, many more national parks, enhancing country budgets, and international financial institutions coming together to give $270 million for tiger conservation. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 years have passed, and the status needs a critical review and reflection and a differentiated strategy. India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh, tigers' population has stabilized and showed impressive increase. Russia has shown tremendous progress with over 750 tigers in the wild. They have virtually been able to double the number of tigers that was assured at St. Petersburg. China is moving forward, and Indonesia appears stable. This is all due to scientific management and a strong political will. Mr. Putin and Mr. Modi have demonstrated great leadership and commitment towards conservation, and results are there to see. Of course, the issue of habitat loss and poaching has to be addressed urgently. The situation in Southeast Asia can best be described as grim. Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, tigers have gone extinct, and Myanmar has a dwindling population on the brink of imminent extinction. Both Thailand and Malaysia have lost half their tigers to poachers. This region requires a very focused approach, and I shall come to it. In terms of resources, things have actually deteriorated. The 210 gap analysis at the time of St. Petersburg summit showed an annual deficit of 66 million, which has now increased to $138 million, and only with regard to protection. National budgets are down, and despite COVID, conservation remains a low priority in both the developed and developing countries. This is rather ironical. Illegal trade is intense. Regional institutions such as South Asia WEN and East Asia Wildlife Enforcement Network have died a natural death, and tiger farms are mushrooming in China, Laos, Vietnam, and Myanmar. Wet markets are back in business. The demand for tiger parts and derivatives is fueling poaching. So where do we go from here? Let me recommend some concrete ideas as we move forward. The next 3 to 5 years are critical. Tiger range countries have to take the declaration very seriously and create a task force under their respective prime ministers to oversee implementation. Both GTI and GTF can convene tiger range country partners every 2 years to review the status of the Vladivostok Declaration. Tiger range countries must commit to fully resourcing the tiger conservation through their national budgets and ensuring boots on the ground. There are not enough people in the front line in Southeast Asia, and in most of the countries, there is not enough budget to really resource people in the front line. So that has left a huge gap, and tiger parks are unprotected. A sharply focused Southeast Asia strategy to prevent the slide towards any further extinction is needed. So we concentrate on Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Why I'm saying this, that there is a deterioration taking place, and at the right time, if an intervention is made, things would change. Malaysia has proactively come forward under their Honorable Prime Minister and has taken very strong action in this regard. The region needs an infusion of $100 million for the next 5 years. For this, my proposal is that the tiger range countries, ministers and others who are attending it, write a joint communication to Global Environment Facility and international financial institutions to bridge the gap in resources. CITES need to be reformed to support tiger conservation in the wild. They have a very political approach to conservation and have been largely ineffective. I'm sorry to say that. I'm saying it in an open forum, this thing. I've experienced it since 2010, the sheer politics around tiger conservation, and it has been rather ineffective. Wherever there are tiger farms, tigers in the wild have gone extinct. So there is no logic, there is no economic logic to have tiger farms and to say that they actually prevent poaching and illegal trade. Actually, as I said, wherever there are tiger farms, tigers in the wild have gone extinct. Tiger farms have to be phased out. Actually, what is needed is a white paper on the status of tiger farms. This should be done in the next 1 year, and all tiger range countries and conservation partners must cooperate, because tiger farms, as long as they continue, would continue to stoke the market. Now, the next things I am talking about is communication. We must position tiger not only as the iconic symbol of environmental sustainability, but also as an indicator of economic growth. We have seen that tiger conservation and tiger parks, national parks, are engines of economic growth. They give a lot of employment, livelihoods to people, and therefore we have to position tiger parks as not only an environmentally sustainable thing, but also an indicator of economic growth. I would really request Honorable Minister to consider this. Declare tigers, not only declare the tiger as Asia's regional animal. I thought about it, and I think it would be important to declare tiger as Asia's regional animal. After all, tigers once represented the tiger economy of East Asia, the symbol of the vitality and resurgence of this region. Bring in economists to infuse the value of ecosystem services in the growth agenda. Position tiger as a protector of forests and wildlife and establish link to climate change. This would help in accessing GCF funding, which is currently inaccessible. We are not getting funds from GCF. And wherever there are tigers, they actually protect pure wilderness. So this link has to be established. And I think Dr. Rajesh Gopal and others have been thinking about it, and it would be important to do that. Target young professionals through social media and win them over as partners. Asia is a young region, and we need young allies. Create wildlife business council in each tiger range countries to engage with private sector. There is much hope there, and actually we have tried it in India, and these wildlife business councils have generated tremendous interest from industry and actually young executives in the industry. And finally, this agenda continues to need champions. St. Petersburg created a global impact, and that spirit has to be revived. At St. Petersburg, 5 prime ministers had got together. The whole world had converged, and the message was an alliance, a kind of global alliance that really influenced public opinion and public policy. Global leaders have to lead an alliance that would actually influence public policy and also persuade the international financial institutions and countries to provide sufficient resources. That level of political will is crucial for tiger conservation in the wild and for the momentum to last till the next year of the tiger in 2035. I'm honored and excited by the fact that this event is taking place as predicted earlier. I'm sorry I could not come personally because of certain personal reasons, but I feel my presence very much there amidst you and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Спасибо большое, господин директор.
Thank you very much, Mr. Director. Can we ask a question? Do we have time for a question? I have one question. Right, what about tiger farms? This is an important question. Sergei Ramilov may correct me. Several years ago, we had a survey of various materials made from tigers, and we compared them with bovine products. And the result was that biologically and on the basis of protein, those tiger-based materials, they don't guarantee any, special effects people discuss in some countries. So could you hear the interpretation, Mr.? And in line with that, so I have a question. Maybe we should follow these findings, and maybe we should put a ban on growing tigers in captivity. Maybe we should ban those tiger farms, because these animals, they are in the Red Book. Yeah, because in such a way, if there are farms, if there's a market for all these materials, so this might cause this poaching. There's this interest in these animals, and among lay people, there might be an idea that this is very important and they need that. And there are all these ideas that wild tigers, their materials are more wholesome than of tigers in captivity.
Your Excellency, you have actually said all that needs to be said here. The demand for tiger derivatives and parts comes from the tradition of Chinese medicine. They believe that it is healthy or it kind of decongests the blood system, it makes your bones stronger. But there is no medical evidence to it. And efforts have been made to really convince people, but there is no effort from the country. None of the countries, whether it is Vietnam, China, Laos, Cambodia, or probably even Myanmar, actually have worked on really erasing demand for tiger parts. And it's very unfortunate because if this demand exists and the demand for tiger wine exists and products exist, then there will be a continuous fillip to poaching and illegal trade because the people who want to have these tiger derivatives want it from wild tigers. Soon they'll come and say that, this tiger, which is a caged tiger, is not as effective, and therefore we should get this tigers out there from nature, which will be more potent. So I completely agree, sir, that we have to stop this tiger farms and formulate a strategy along with that. There's no point in dodging this issue all the time. This issue gets dodged and goes into, it may get out of declaration because we had put it in the declaration draft. But there's no point in dodging it because this is actually, it is surviving because extremely profitable, sir. It is like illegal drug and arms. They're the kind of profitability. So people are launching joint ventures in tiger farms, and the wet market is back in spite of COVID. So I hope at this summit and under your leadership, sir, there would be some concrete steps to phase out tiger parks, and we must bring China and Vietnam, everybody together in working together on this. This is this growing tigers in captivity. Even in the US, for instance, it is a practice to have tigers in captivity. They are not being used for commercial purposes, but there are, say, more than 6,000 tigers in captivity in US itself. And there is much opposition, public opposition to it. So both ends have to be taken care of. And I hope a very, very, meaningful strategy with the help of GTF, with the help of GTI, with the help of technical people and the countries which are having tiger farms, it should be developed. And I'm also in favor that we must commission a status paper on tiger farms. Thank you, sir.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much. Well, colleagues, we continue, and now I would like